Hi, in this video we're going to reproduce Jeff's issue with moving an object from one OU to another um, and seeing how we can overcome that with a force AD flush. So first and foremost, what have I done in AD? I have basically a one OU called Jeff's staging and another OU which is somewhere else. Two levers down is which is Jeff's final destination. So the first thing we need a user. So let's go ahead and just create a user, quick user. Let's call it Jeff. A very simple name, right? So making sure he has a password. So this end user will be manually provisioned. The user does not have a Unix identity, right? Um, Another thing is we need a computer. So I have this Intel 7 machine here. I'm gonna build the computer. I had to clean it because it was in a different place before. So it will be Centrify build. And this it's a automated script that just joins the machine and puts the machine in a computer role called web servers. So ultimately, we'll have a machine to test here. So it's already joined. It seems here if I do a refresh, and also if I go to the members here, notice that the machine is a member of the of that. So first step, we're gonna Unix enable Jeff. So we're gonna find Jeff, right? And we're gonna be able to do that. And also we need to give him a role. So we're going to give him a role at the web servers level. And we're going to assign a role, Unix sysadmin, so he can elevate to root, and for Jeff. Right. So Jeff now has the two things he needs to be able to access the machine, an identity and a role. So if we go back here and because we provisioned the user after, and I guess probably I just should run an AD flush. Or let's take a look, AD query user. Notice that Jeff is already there, right? So if I log out and I want to log in as Jeff, notice the prompt for AD password. So, effectively, if I do an DZ info, he's like a root user. Let's take it for a ride. So AD flush, okay, Jeff. Let's go back in here. So if I do an AD flush, I can't do it. DZ do AD flush. He can do it. He doesn't need to know the password, right? So let's do and let's repro and let me do this before dz do su dash. Let's repro what Jeff's issue, right? So basically, the user is in the staging OU. If we move the user to the final destination OU, right, and uh, you know, uh, we perform a just a clear AD flush, and an AD query user should have done it, right? So AD query. So if I do an AD flush and I do an AD query user, so let's take a look at that Jeff here, and so we can do a AD query user minus a and Jeff, and let's do it with DZ do so we can see more about this user. So in this case, I could not repro the problem. The AD flush actually did it at the time. So what I think, Jeff, is in some instances, remember, you have to rebuild the whole credential cache. In this case, actually, it took it right away, perhaps because I ran the AD flush. But before, I actually reproduced the issue in which I had to do an AD flush minus minus force to get this done. So, um, so your options are either provision the user after the user is in the final OU, or if you're going to do it before, make sure you have an orchestration that collects all the machines that the user can log into, and you can go by chef or puppet and do a force AD flush, making sure that the machine is connected at the time. Because if you do an AD flush force when you're offline, then you're going to basically impair anybody to log in. So I think this clarifies things from an architectural perspective. I think that what you asked was, from a SCP perspective, if I do a refresh here, Notice that I have, let's see, in this model OU, I have Jeff. So if I look at the properties of the SCP, notice that the actual link to it, parent, so there's a, let's see, I think it's in a keywords attribute. Yep. So in here, notice that the parent link is actually the SID of the user. So that's why we'll never lose track of the object. And I'm hoping that this actually helped you. Okay?